Welcome to the Christian Karate Association Team Leader Training Course 1. My name is Steve Wilson, and I'll be your guide as you work through this course. I pray that God will give you wisdom, endurance, and patience as you work through this course, and that you would be a great, effective ministry in your community in the future with Christian Karate. The Team Leader Training Course is designed to give you the information that you need to start, run, and maintain a Christian Karate ministry at your location. We will be going over this book, which is the Team Leader Training Manual. You might have a paper copy or the digital version online. Either one is fine, whatever works best for you. They are exactly the same. In addition to the book, you will be watching these videos. Now, these videos are designed to supplement the book. Some of the things that we're going to be going over in these videos are not in the book. And some of the things that are in the book we will not have in these videos. So I want to make sure that you understand that you'll need to go through both the book and the video series to get all of the content that is required. At the end of each unit, we have some questions that are just things for you to think about and to contemplate for that unit. Some of those questions will come from this video series, and some of the questions will be from the book. So make sure that you're able to do both of them each week so that you get a good broad understanding of the content of the Team Leader course. One of the things in the Christian Karate that we believe is really important is to provide you with the information and the tools necessary for you to have a successful Christian Karate ministry. On page 5, you can see some of the benefits that we have for being part of the Christian Karate Association. Now, we are continually working on expanding the benefits. We're working on book and video series. We're looking into online forums, teaching tools, camps, seminars, etc. We want to do the best that we can to have a continued education for you to where you can be successful. Now, I want to share with you kind of a reason why this is so important to me. When I started off in my martial arts training many years ago, I saw the value of incorporating biblical principles into Christianity. I would start teaching in my backyard, and I would have kids from the neighborhood come around and say, "Hey, can I learn this block, this high block or this low block?" And I thought that this would be a great opportunity to introduce them to the Lord and biblical principles. At this time in my life, I felt a call into the ministry, and I felt that this could be a great tool. And so I started experimenting. I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll teach you this technique, but I want you to learn and memorize this Bible verse for me this week." And they said, "Sure, I can do that. I'll learn this Bible verse and learn some karate." So over the course of time, we found that was a really neat thing. I was able to really minister to these kids. They were learning karate, and I was also able to shape them in the direction of good, solid biblical principles. Now, at that time, I was looking for an association to be part of. I didn't have any curriculum. I was kind of just going off of the things that I had learned from previous instructors in martial arts. And so I started searching. Now, at that time, we didn't have the internet that we did today, so finding associations were a little more challenging. But I did find a few associations, and I was really excited when I found a Christian Martial Arts Association, and I called them up, left a message. We kind of played phone tag a little bit. I got a hold of them, and they said, "Yes, you can be part of our association. Send us this money, and you can be part of it and get some material." So I wrote a check and sent it in, and a while back I got the envelope, and I was really excited. I was thinking, this is great. This is going to be what I need to spring forward in my martial arts ministry. So I opened it up, and I got this nice welcome letter. I got my certificate, and I got a patch. And I was like, this is great. This is really exciting. I'm really excited to be part of this. Put the patch on. I put the certificate on the wall, and then waited, and I waited some more, and I found out that I didn't receive anything else from this group. I called and found out that really all of that was to get a certificate and a patch, and there wasn't anything beyond that. And at that point, I was discouraged. I felt that it was a waste of money, and now I'm back to where I was beforehand, where I don't have the material or the information or the community support that I needed to move forward in my martial arts ministry. So at that point, I decided that it's time to build one. So that's kind of how the Christian Karate was built, was off of not being able to find a group that provided what I needed. And from the beginning, I decided that I want to make sure that as much as possible, our association spends a lot of time investing into how to support the instructors, how to support those in the group, what we can do to provide information on how to do your ministry, what to do next, curriculum, information on how to counsel your students, how to deal with legal issues in your school. All of those things we really worked on. And what we're going to continue to do as an association is to build those benefits. I would encourage you, as you spend time in the Christian Karate Association, and if you find something, an area that you think would be beneficial to expand, maybe some benefit that we can offer or something that we can do in addition to, please let us know. We always want to grow and expand and to get better in this area, especially in the area of benefits, on how we can better serve you as an association. On page 6, you can see a few of the things about what is a Christian Karate Club. Now, I want to point out something very specific that sets the Christian Karate Club or a Christian Karate ministry apart from a lot of other ministries that we see out there. And that is this, that children and adults can participate together. That is one of the really neat things that we have seen, where a family who has young kids, adults, and maybe even grandparents, and they can go to a club and do it together. They can train together physically. They can do a physical activity. They can do a physical activity that's goal-oriented. It has specific steps. They obtain their rank. And it's also something where they can grow spiritually. We've seen it many times to where a family will come together and we have 2 or 3 generations even that train together, and then they go home and they're working together on their character quality memorization, and they're working on their katas together and their techniques together at home. And then it's even neat to see as they go on vacation that you'll see pictures of students together where you have kids, parents, and grandparents doing some karate form on a rock or next to some trees. As the karate bug grows in them, we see more and more of this happening. And it's something that they all do together. Now, there's a lot of programs in our communities that have something just for kids, or they have something just for teens, or they have something for just adults. But it's really hard to find something where they all go together. So this would be something that you can use a lot in your advertisement and outreach for your community, and you can let people know that this is something that everyone can do together. Everyone can participate. Bring everybody together, your kids, parents, grandparents, all together. And that is something that really sets apart and makes a Christian Karate Club. On page 7, you can see the organizational structure of a normal Christian Karate Club. Now, you might be the first person that is doing this in your area, and you will become what's called the club leader. Now, if you already have a club there and you are working with your club leader, you will be one of the other team leaders, as you can see here. Let's take a quick look at this so that you understand kind of the organization of what it's going to work as a club. Now, the first person will become what's called the club leader. The club leader basically is the one who organizes everything. They're kind of the one that's in charge. They're the one that everybody looks up to. They're the ones that makes the decisions as far as where we have classes, when we have classes, those things. They'll be the one that makes the final decision when it comes to anything regarding to your club. Now, the next team leader you can see is the character quality coordinator. Now, you can start a club with one person, and some of you might be doing that. You might be going through this as an individual, and what you're going to find as an individual that's running a club by themselves is that there's a lot of responsibilities, and what you will need to do as quickly as you can, probably within the first month to 6 months of running your school, is to find some more team leaders. Because as we can distribute the responsibilities to more team leaders, it makes it to where you can be more effective in your ministry. So the second position that we have there is for the character qualities. Now, we do this because the character qualities are one of the core components of our ministry. That is what sets us apart from, say, a normal karate club. We want to make sure that we have somebody there that's dedicated towards promoting and teaching the character qualities to the students. Then the next one, the team leader 3, would be bookkeeping. As your school grows, you need some organization. That bookkeeper or secretary would be the one that organizes all the paperwork, make sure people has what they need, schedule the times for testing, maybe schedule for events and such. And then, if possible, you'll get a 4th and a 5th team leader in the future, and you can see what they do there. Throughout this course, we are going to be spending some time going over in detail the responsibilities for each of these. One of the things I want to point out, though, is you see there that it says 15 students maximum. Now, the reason that we have put a limit on the team leaders is simply this. At this point in your journey, you are a guide. You still have a lot to learn. There's going to be a long path ahead of you, and we want to make sure that you get there and you do it well. One of the things we've seen is if you have too many students in the beginning, it kind of becomes overwhelming. So that's why we want to make sure that you, as soon as possible, try to get up to that 3 team leader group. Now you can see there that the 15 students is per team leader. So every team leader that you bring into your group, you can add 15 students. Now, let's say that you have 2 team leaders for a maximum of 30 students, and you, for some reason in your community, your church, whatever, you have 60 people that want to do this. What do you do? Well, it's a very simple solution. What you will do is you'll have one class, say on a Monday, Thursday, where you have 30 students, and then you can have an additional 30 students at a separate class. So that number there isn't for your students totally, it's per class. And so if you want to teach more than that 15, just schedule more classes there. And again, the reason that we're doing that is to safeguard you, to make sure that you get to where you're going and you're successful at that. Now, if there is a situation, a special situation that comes up to where for some reason you need more than that in one class, simply contact the Christian Karate Association, and you might work with your state instructor or regional instructor or with the national instructors, and we will make sure that we come up with a plan and a goal that works for you. So if you have that special circumstance, please contact us and we'll make sure that we make it work for you. On pages 8 through 11, you're going to see a timeline of your journey as a team leader. One of the things we talked about earlier was the benefits, and that we wanted to make sure that as an association we provide you with those tools that you need. Now, this Team Leader Training Course 1 that you're going through will provide you with enough information, like we said, to start, run, and maintain a ministry at a location, but only for a short time. There's going to be a time where your students start getting up in rank, where they're going to be wanting to possibly be in leadership, or they want to do some other programs, some specialty programs, some weapons programs. And what we want to do is we want to provide you with that information and that training to move up ahead of them. So as you can see on those pages, it's the steps that you'll need to take to get to become an instructor. One thing that I want to point out is that pretty much all of these things you can do correspondence-wise. We understand that there's a challenge in traveling. Traveling is expensive and it's hard to coordinate times and such. And so we're going to make it to where you can do all of your training and your video tests, your evaluations online, all the way up to your black belt. Now, one thing that you'll see here is that when you get to your black belt, that is the only time that you'll actually need to meet in person with someone with the Christian Karate Association. Now, this could be at a camp, at a seminar. There's a lot of times that we'll be making this available throughout the year. So keep this in mind as you get closer. Now, the normal time for somebody, if you are working hard, and I have to say if, because the normal time really varies a lot depending on how much work you put into it. Some of you coming into this program, you might have previous martial arts experience, or you might have specific Shotokan experience. And then some of you might have no martial arts experience, but you might have biblical teachings experience, or you might have leadership experiences of some sort. So depending on your background and also depending on how hard you work at it, when you get to your black belt, you'll need to be planning on meeting up with us. Now, the typical timeline might be anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So when you're getting close, when you have a green belt on or a brown belt, as far as the stripe that goes on your team leader belt, when you're getting closer and closer to that time, be looking for some events. We'll be coordinating in the future as far as maybe going to your location, maybe coming to our location. We're hoping in the future to have camps and seminars around the world, and that would be a place where you can test for your black belt. So just keep that in mind as you get closer and closer, that you'll need to meet with us at some point for your black belt test. One of the challenges that we found with a guide or a team leader leading a school is, what do we call them and what do they wear? How do we distinguish them from a student, even though you're still a student, but how do we give you some authority there? We found that if you were to start a club and you were to wear a yellow belt, that there was a lot of challenges there. Even though you have the training on how to start and run a school, there's that mental challenge from the students or from the parents. They look at you and go, you're a yellow belt, and it's a confusing thing to them. It's just kind of a stumbling block for them to be able to accept your authority in this situation. And so we worked on trying to come up with a solution to that problem. Now, we found that we can't call you an instructor. You can't be called a sensei, even though in the technical terms, this term sensei in Japanese simply means teacher. So in the truest sense, you are a sensei, but you're not a karate sensei, whereas you have to usually have a black belt and certifications for a karate sensei. So that was also another struggle, is their titles. We came up with a solution. We decided to call this program, or to call you what's called a team leader. And so you've seen this before. This is Team Leader Training Course 1. And in Japanese, the term for team leader is hancho. And it's used as kind of the person in charge of a small group, a hancho. And so we decided that we'll go ahead and use the term team leader, and the students will then call you hancho, whereas an instructor they call a sensei. And as we'll see later on, there's actually quite a few titles in the karate world: senpai, sensei, shihan, hancho. And we also needed to signify visibly on you that you are leadership. Now again, the yellow belt didn't work, and we couldn't put a black belt on there, just because we wanted to be truthful as for what you are. So what we had to do is we had to create a new belt specifically for the team leader. And so what we've done is we've created this belt here. This is the team leader belt. This will be the belt that you will wear your entire time until you achieve your black belt. Now what we decided to do is to show kind of the progress. You're going from a white belt to a black belt. So we have that steps there of the white to a black. Another thing that you will be doing is you'll be putting a piece of color-coded tape here that will represent your current rank. So when you are done with this, you will put a yellow stripe here, and that will signify that you are a team leader, that you have the authority, that you've gone through the training, and that your rank is a yellow belt. Now, one of the neat things about putting that rank there is that you get to show off where you're at. It's exciting to get new rank, and you'll see that your students are really excited about it as well. So that rank stripe there will be kind of a, this is where I'm at. And then over the course of time, when you achieve your new rank from headquarters, say you're orange or you're blue, you'll be able to have kind of a mini ceremony there with your students to celebrate what you achieve. In addition to that, your students will see what you have as well. They'll be able to encourage you on and to see where you're at and to see the training you're part of. Another neat thing about that you're going to find is it also is an accountability tool. If you, say, have an orange or a blue belt and you have students that are pushing you up, they're going to be able to look at you and go, Hancho, when are you testing for your green belt? And they're going to be curious about that, and at the back of their mind they might be thinking, because I need to test for my rank, and they know that you have to go up one rank before they can. So that's what we've created. We have the title of Hancho Team Leader, and you will be wearing this Team Leader belt during the course of your training. And hopefully looking forward to the day where you'll retire this belt and you'll get your black belt and your sensei title.